All right. And we're looking forward to getting back out here tomorrow night against Central Michigan. I think I told our guys, one of my messages to our guys is every game's hard in college basketball. It's like you watch college basketball last night or follow scores. You see Gonzaga with Tarleton State, right? It was a 5-point game with 5 minutes to go or so. Every game's hard. And so it's less about the opponent. It's always more about us. It's about our effort, our toughness, our togetherness. How connected are we? That's what I really care about. Central Michigan, they're going to be ready to play us. I can tell you that. We're going to get their best shot. Tony Barbee does a really nice job. They got some talented guards, and Jermaine Jackson, who's very dynamic with the ball, scores the ball at a very, very high level. I expect them to change defenses throughout the game, 2-3 zone, man-to-man, zone press. They're going to play fast offensively. We really got to be able to guard the ball and keep our defense tight. So those will be the challenges for tomorrow night. Like I said, we're looking forward to continuing this journey and continue to get better.
Coach, I know he hasn't done everything, but how do you think the last few days have gone with Zach Freemantle getting back out there, starting to do some stuff again? How has he held up against some of that?
Yeah, he's looked good. Again, I think it's going to be a process at him, to kind of get him all the way back to where all we know that he can be, where he's really comfortable not thinking about it. You can tell he's still thinking about it a little bit out there, a little hesitant with some of his movements, but I think it's went pretty well. We'll see how he feels tomorrow, and I'll talk with our doctors and with Dave Fluker and see if we can give her a go tomorrow night. I know this: if he can play, he'll play. He wants to be out there on the floor.
And is there an idea in your mind, like, hey, I'd love to, if he's up to it, try to get him 5 minutes or 10 minutes? Is there a number there that you're thinking about?
Yeah, that'll be up to the doctors. I'd say it's going to be a small sample size. I do know that if he plays, it won't be a ton.
Is that impacting the other front court players right now, having Zach back out there in a good way, positive or negatively?
I think it's going to create more competition, Rick. Because again, listen, if you can't execute our defensive system or offensive system or not doing the things that we ask or value, then you're just going to find a seat over by me on the bench. Everybody wants to play. There's only 200 minutes. There's only one basketball. Zach's obviously a tremendous player. We're excited to get him back. But it is going to create more competition, and those minutes will have to kind of figure itself out over these next few games.
In that regard, having two bigs to play, obviously it gives you some different looks, but also against Virginia Tech, you had some four-guard looks that you played that did some good things for you. How much are you guys having conversations about small versus big lineups right now?
A lot. Usually you would hope by this point of the season you have a pretty good idea about your rotations and how you want to play, what's working, right? You have enough data with all the analytical numbers that are out there to kind of figure out who you are, right? And for us, it's a little bit of a work in progress. Obviously, when you add a guy like Zach back into the fold, we got to figure it out, right? We got to my job is to put the best players on the floor. And we got to figure it out defensively and offensively. And we got a lot of talent. We got a lot of depth. It's going to create a lot of competition. I think it'll only make guys better and push guys kind of beyond their comfort level, which is a good thing.
To kind of piggyback off that, is there anyone from those games when you had less people that kind of stepped up more, you could see getting some more action tomorrow that hasn't necessarily played a ton yet?
I thought Kiki had a really good first half against Vatek. I did. I thought his run in the second half wasn't as good, but at the first half he was pretty dang good on the defensive end, and he had banged in a three. I thought Cesar did some good things too. The difference, and a lot of times is just there's not a huge gap on our team. Right, like it's not. Sometimes you go into different teams, you have different teams, there's a larger gap, and you're like, man, it's really, really noticeable who you should play. With our team, and it's the blessing of having really good depth, is that gap's a lot smaller. But at the same time, you can't play everybody. You just can't, because as a player, you need to feel comfortable. You need to get a rhythm. In order to do that, man, playing nine's a lot. That's a lot of guys, unless you're pressing the entire game, and like Press Virginia does over there, Huggins. I don't think you can play more than 9 guys consistently.
When you look at tomorrow, obviously this is a team that, even though they've lost a lot of games, they've actually shot pretty well from 3 for the season. Do you guys necessarily do anything different there as far as for your defense? I know you guys have kind of played with an edge, especially on the perimeter this year.
Yeah, they Jermaine Jackson, you mentioned, again, he's a tremendous shooter off the dribble and off the catch. Like, he has to feel us. Every one of the shots has to be contested, right, at the end of the day. Now, how they get their threes is it could be a lot of different ways, right? It could be in transition. It could be off penetration. It could be out of ball screens. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure that they take contested jump shots. We want to protect that paint at all costs. I think we're 15th in the country, at least we were last night, at guarding the twos and 2-point field goal percentage defense, which is really good. Our 3-point field goal percentage defense needs to be better, though. That's kind of been one of the areas we've struggled on the defensive end, and we're going to get tested tomorrow night a lot, like you said, right, just a second ago.
What was it like watching that Virginia Tech game back? When I rewatched it, I almost had a greater appreciation for what Nate Johnson did, not just with his shot making, but some of the little things he did defensively, and to play 40 minutes and not turn the ball over. Like, did you appreciate it more the second time rewatching it?
I appreciated it live. He was terrific. I mean, he was great on both ends. Like you said, he had 0 turns. Obviously shot the ball really well. He was in a good rhythm, confident. He's a really good player. We need him to score. He's got a gift to score the ball. We need him to score and be a really good defensive player, which he's doing. So, again, appreciated him during the game, appreciated him after the game, the whole deal. So he's a great player.
And I thought it was interesting that Nate doing that, you look at your season so far and, Paul's stepped up in big games. Adam Kunkel's done it. Jack Nungy's done it. Nate Johnson's done it. Like, you're about to add another guy back in Zach Freemantle who can really impact a game like that and take it over. And it's like, I don't necessarily think that was something that we saw last year from 5 or 6 guys on your roster. What's been the difference been this year in that regard?
That's how practice has been too, Adam. You look at it. We've had multiple guys win Xavier Way, the gold jersey. It's been different guys, different weeks, and I think that's how we are in the games. We're going to ride the hot hand. It's going to be different guys, different nights, and those guys understand that. The open guy is going to be the go-to guy for us. We have a lot of different guys who can do it, and when you add a guy like Zach back into the fold, right? I don't know how many points he averaged last year. It's roughly around 17. He's just another guy that can really do it, right? We got to continue to work that the ball movement's incredibly important. When you have a lot of different guys who can do it, right? You can't always try to hit a home run every time you touch the ball. That's where that ball's just got to move. And when we get that right and we take care of the ball, we got a chance to be an elite offensive team, especially getting Zach back into the fold.
And how nice was it to see on that last offensive possession against Virginia Tech, there's less than 30 seconds left, you're down 2, and DeJuan Odom attacks. And you watch that video back, and it's like 4 defenders really collapsed on him in the lane, and he makes the right play. He's a guy who's struggled a little bit out of the gate this year, but that has got to give you some confidence, and I know that you've always had confidence in him, but for him to make a play like that with the game on the line, does that sort of tell you that he's moving in the right direction?
Yeah, I think after he didn't have the start this season that he wanted or I wanted or anybody wanted, right? But that tested him, right? And because you can go one of 2 ways, you can feel sorry for yourself, get down, stop working, become uncoachable. He went the other way though, right? He kept on working, became even more coachable, and he's become a better player. He's really good. I mean, his effort level defensively has been tremendous. I mean, his ability to pressure the ball, dominate the ball is off the charts. I think he could be as good as any on-ball defender in our league. But like you said, at the end of the game, he's a guy that lives in the paint. And it's funny, like teams that play off of him actually help him. That's what I always tell him. It's like, listen, you're not going to find too many guys that are physically more gifted than DeJuan. From a strength standpoint, athleticism standpoint, and if they allow him to play downhill, he's going to take that all day long. And he's going to make the right play. It was a tremendous pass, like you said, under pressure, big moment, big stage. He made the right play, and our team was really rewarded because of it.
And I know the last couple of days you've had pretty much all of your available scholarship players on the floor practicing. I would take that as a good sign that you guys are through the worst of this little illness that you had to deal with last week.
Yeah, I think I think it's behind us. I think we got several guys kind of trying to gain some weight back. We've had some guys lose about 10 pounds, 12 pounds, but Chase is probably right as we're talking right now, probably giving those guys 2,000 calorie shakes and all sorts of stuff, but trying to get their weight back up. But yeah, we're definitely on the uptick and feeling a lot better. Thanks.